It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
Hi, everyone. This is Kat with a message about tomorrow's office Halloween party. The company wants us to know the following. No dressing as a Karen, since we have people of that name working for the company. No dressing as the opposite sex, as that would be mocking the company's trans policy. No dressing as anything quote-unquote sexy. Nothing political like dressing as the president's drool nurse. Nothing satanic or religious. Nothing COVID-related, including bats, fangs, doctors, or nurses. Sugarless candy will be provided, no nuts, plus soft drinks and water. I'll be dressed as a giant candy corn again. See you at the party. It's going to be a lot of fun.
How can I not look sexy? How is that possible? We're a burlap sack. I can't.
No, you take the shape right out of that burlap every time, Zep. Make no mistake about it. It's Halloween morning on the KQ Morning Show, and what a gorgeous day for the kids, huh?
Oh, it's a shame.
That's just how we like it.
I was talking to Sid.
30 inches of snow.
Yeah, talking to Sid the kid yesterday. She goes, I don't remember a Halloween where the weather wasn't miserable. So it happened. It was occasionally we get a nice Halloween day. But yeah, this is where you earn it when you're a Minnesota kid.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, let's earn our keep. It's time for the top 5 at 6 for Halloween. Let's get to it. Number 1 on your top 5 at 6, the most searched Halloween costumes. Not just for kids, adults as well. There's a website called Frightgeist, and they coagulate. They put together all the Google searches for costumes. The top search: Shrunken Head Bob from Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty good. Number 2, this is great. What? Yes, sir.
The Shrunken Head Bob saw someone do that with their Chihuahua. I think it was a Chihuahua. Their little,
that's great.
2 of their little dogs. Yeah, it was phenomenal.
That is awesome. Number 2, Ray Gunn. And if you're going, wait, who's Ray Gunn? Rachel Gunn, the Australian breakdancer from the Summer Olympic Games. That is outstanding. And then, I'll be honest, it falls right off the cliff. There's Catnap, Dolores from Beetlejuice, Pomni, Envy from Inside Out. I don't know what any of these things are. I have to go all the way down to number 11 on the list until I see Chipotle burrito. Okay, now I know what that is.
Oh, yeah, I don't need a costume for that. I just got to take my shirt off.
If you are what you eat, then I've been one many, many times. That's just how that works. Number 4 in your top 5 at 6. Hey, if you're ever planning to travel to the Big Apple, great news. New York City has officially legalized, wait for it, jaywalking. Yes, enough already. Just go. Take your chances. It's like a 247 game of Frogger with all the taxis and Ubers and all the cars. You know what? If you think you can make it across 6 lanes of Fifth Avenue or whatever, go for it, man. I love that New York City said, who are we kidding? What's jaywalking in 2024?
Why not hear from some New Yorkers themselves?
Who cares? So what else is new? I jaywalked my whole life here. I lived here for 60 years and I jaywalked. Gotta be alert. You're in New York. Look alive.
You get a chance, you go. Take it.
If it's safe?
If it's safe, you go. Watch both ways, because now we got these guys.
When was the last time you heard somebody say that, I'm happy they caught that jaywalker?
That's exactly right.
It wasn't in New York, but when I was in Boston one summer, we hit a jaywalker. I wasn't driving, my buddy was driving, and wham, the guy just breaks out between a couple of parked cars, didn't see him, hits the car, does the half roll over the hood, and then just keeps walking. And my buddy yells at him, and then we take off. I'm like, should we, I'm a Midwesterner, should we check on him? He's like, idiot, and whatever. That was just it. That was another day in Beantown or in the Northeast.
It's amazing how many times you can get hit by a car when you're from Boston with just the rage will see you through. Just an angry bunch of folks over in Boston.
Yeah.
They're like, no, really, we invented this country and nobody cares. Yeah, you're right. Shut up. Your town is a garbage dump. Number 3 on your top 5 and 6. A douchebag in North Carolina. I'm sorry, a lucky man in North Carolina. Can you feel the envy? Jerry Hicks. What a name for a North. My name's Jerry Hicks, and I like to sit outside the Speedway and just go about my business. Boone, North Carolina, beautiful part of the world up there in the mountains. Jerry Hicks was sitting outside a convenience store outside of a Speedway. And he looked down and lo and behold saw a $20 bill. And he thought, well, I guess that means I'm supposed to go buy myself a lottery ticket because I found money. And the sumbitch did, and he won. He bought a ticket. He bought a $25 Extreme Cash scratch-off ticket. I love the fact that he found 20 and went into his own pocket for 5 more to buy the $25 Extreme Cash scratch-off. And he claimed himself $1 million.
Well, good for him.
Good for him. Why do I let things like this piss me off?
I don't know, because we're lazy and we don't want to have to work for a living, and it's not fair.
You know what? I have done that. I am pumping gas, and I get in the car, and I open up the little console to get a piece of gum or something, and I'm like, hey, there's 4 quarters. I guess I'm supposed to go buy a go for 5, and I run in and do it and never win. I'm always thinking, oh, well, if you don't plan on it and you find money, then of course, and this guy just proved my case, but it's never worked for me.
Yeah, I got an unexpected refund, not a tax deal. It was something I had purchased on Amazon for complete disclosure, and they kicked the money back. I didn't get it $65. So I wasn't like I was up 65. I just hadn't expected to get that $65 back straight into my Underdog account, and thank you to several teams that took that away from me.
Yeah, that's the fun. That's why it's so fun, dude. Come on.
That's right.
Number 2 on your top 5 and 6. Halloween, of course, is tonight. We're going to send the kids out. They're going to have fun. Like a lot of kids, the Gormans took pillowcases out. That was our... I mean, the first time I ever saw one of those plastic pumpkins, I was like, what the hell is that? Why are you carrying around a plastic jack-o'-lantern for your candy? Get a pillowcase. I didn't know that there was other options than your own pillowcase. MyScienceProject.org, a website, has said the average sized pillow case will require 1,690 pieces to actually fill it up. And if you truly filled it, it would weigh about 48 pounds.
Oh, you'd be dragging it along.
Because in my memory, I always had that thing full. And I'm like, oh, maybe not quite so full. I never had 48 pounds of candy, trust me.
Now, I remember dashing home to empty it. It wasn't anywhere near full, but you were afraid it might get full, and then you would be out there with a full 48 pounds. That was never going to happen, was it?
Not a chance. Not a chance in hell. Hey, good morning to Maple Lake, Minnesota. Gorgeous part of the universe up there in Maple Lake. Get to Buffalo, keep on going.
That's right. Yeah, Maple Lake up there. It's where I go to get my syrup.
Very happy to have you guys with us in Maple Lake. You know what to do. All right, number 1 on your top 5 and 6. The Dodgers, the Los Angeles Dodgers, beat the Yankees last night in 5 games. They are your 2024 World Series champs. As a lifelong Yankee hater, I couldn't be happier to see the Yankees not only lose the World Series, but lose it in Yankee Stadium in an incredibly humiliating fashion, as in they had a 5-run lead at home in the Bronx, and in the 5th inning, they gave up 5 runs with just a slew of errors. What a great meltdown. One of the all-time worst meltdowns in World Series history. I loved every second of it.
Aaron Judge, one of the big home run hitters of the last many years, and certainly this season as well again, made a legacy error. You know, he'll be known as still a great baseball player, but a legacy error in the 5th. He was up, he was down. Here's that final strikeout call.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
There you go.
I love it. It's just great.
They get their big celebration. Didn't the last time they won it was during the COVID, I think. The
COVID, yeah. They won a World Series that nobody cared about, watched, or will ever remember. So this one's legit. This one feels a little bit better for Dodger fans out there. And so there's your top 5 at 6. A lot going on the show today. 8:25, of course, Sam Ekstrom will be with us as it's Thursday to talk about the Vikings game this Sunday night. 7:50, we're giving away Minnesota Wild tickets with a little something we love called Alexa Theater. 7:50 Wild tickets, 8:25 Sam Ekstrom, and in just a few minutes. Hey, listen, great news. Walmart has got something pretty special in the oven. Oh, boy, only on Halloween. Trust me, hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good Halloween morning, one and all. 651-989 is the KQ talk and text line if you need to let us know anything. Jamie wants to wish her husband a happy 60th wedding anniversary. Love you, babe. That's part of the text. I'm not saying I love you, babe.
I don't know.
Jamie
sounded
loves
sincere.
you, babe.
Yeah, what's going on between you two?
Well, I mean, listen, I don't mind being a side piece. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They've been married
They've been married 60 years. He needed to get out and, try a new recipe. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Anyway, happy to pass that along, Jamie. Story out of Halifax, Nova Scotia. Now, that's up north of the border, guys. That's Canada.
Okay.
All right.
I was just going to Google it.
Yep, there's a Walmart superstore up there. And a 19-year-old employee went missing last week. And for about an hour, her coworkers, and one of those coworkers includes her mother, were looking for her in the store. Like, has anybody seen, her name is Gersimran Kaur. Has anyone seen Gersimran? No, can't find her. Mom looked into one of the large bakery industrial-size ovens and discovered her daughter had been
What?
placed into an oven, trapped, and had been burned to death.
Holy nightmare.
In a Walmart kitchen, yes, in an oven. And then employees in the interim, in the last few days since, have all been sharing their theories on TikTok. And they're basically saying, this is murder. There's no way that woman could have climbed into that oven on her own and then shut the door. It's a very heavy door. And one of the employees said, look, I'm 5'1". I'm a medium build. I would have to crouch down to get in. There is an emergency latch inside the oven. They're basically saying they think someone probably knocked her out and put her in that oven. A murder in a Walmart kitchen. You're telling me they don't have security cameras in that sumbitch? What is happening in Nova Scotia?
What the hell? So 5'1", I'm probably guessing, right around 110, 120. Hard to say. What would that be, like 400 degrees for 4 hours, do you think?
It depends on how you prefer to...
if you want the meat to fall off the bone.
I just can't even continue that line of questions.
What do you serve with that?
Yeah, so they knocked her out and put her in the oven. I don't know. I remember in 8th grade, Greg Kopp, he was kind of one of our chubby classmates, got himself into a dryer stuck in there. They had to call the fire department to go over there and get him out, and she wouldn't have crawled in herself.
No. That's not. This is just mind-boggling to me. I just never. I'm always surprised when something like this isn't immediately solved. I just assume there's cameras everywhere. I assume that there's cameras here in the studio that I've never seen. Yeah. I assume there's cameras in the parking lot of every parking lot I go. I assume everywhere I go, somebody somewhere is watching.
You don't let anyone out of that Walmart. You lock the doors. You get yourself, Columbo, or who's the hot inspector these days on television.
Well, there was that Canadian show called Cardinal. So you call Cardinal in since we're in Canada
over there, and no one leaves until they get to the bottom of this.
Man, this is wild. I mean,
if someone knocked you out, put you in the oven, and started cooking you, at some point you're going to wake up. I mean, no one's that knocked out.
Yeah, I'm really hoping she was all the way dead, because this seems like the worst way to go ever.
Pretty awful. Yeah. Pretty awful. And I just, man, you know what? Honestly, there are several other one-liners that come to mind. I just can't do it. I'm sorry. The thing that really traumatizes me the most about this, listen to me. The thing that's upsetting is her mom found her. I mean, this is, it is Halloween. I probably wouldn't talk about this were it any other day of the year. So at least we got that going for us. Halloween, or as the Gormans called it, Dad's birthday.
Yeah, Dad's birthday.
The duck was born on Halloween, 1928. And of course... And, of course, having a hard-ass former Marine dad in the house, we were like, of course he was born on Halloween. Just seemed to make sense.
Of a jackal. Born from a jackal with the sign. Did you check behind his ear for the 666? I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
We learned early on, never approach him from the rear. No, don't try to get a look back there. You got big problems if you do.
I was just looking here, born on this day. Vanilla Ice, born on this day.
Really?
Rob Schneider.
Oh, man. Boy, that's a talent drip.
John Candy.
Hey!
No way.
Dr. Tongue.
All right, now we're talking.
Dr. Tongue, remember the 3D? He'd just move it closer to the camera. Scary. Scary stuff.
The sound effect, it was fantastic.
And
Johnny LaRue, my favorite character of John Candy's Honesty TV.
Oh, my God, that was great.
Johnny LaRue's Polynesia Town, a classic.
Michael Landon and Brian Piccolo share your dad's birthday.
Oh, my God. That's a heady mix of people right there, man. No question about it. You can always tell your smart speaker to play 92 KQRS. Go ahead, try it. See what happens. It's going to play 92 KQRS.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Thursday, October the 31st, Halloween. Let's look back. Oh, don't be afraid to learn. On this day in 1986, Julius Erving, Dr. J, the 76ers forward, who truly brought basketball into the 80s. He lurched the game forward. Soaring moves to the basket. One of the most exhilarating players ever. Announced he would retire at the end of that season. 16 years of professional basketball. 1 NBA title for Philly. 2 titles with the New York Nets of the ABA in 74 and 76. Easily the greatest forward of his era. His prime years, injury-free years, sadly spent in the ABA. Now, the NBA struggled in the 70s, but the ABA was on life support. Hoops fans knew if you wanted to see the greatest player in the world, you had to go to Hampton, Virginia, or St. Louis, or Louisville, because that's where the ABA was going on. Dr. J in the ABA was like, it was like in 1975 if Freddie Mercury had been in Molly Hatchet instead of Queen. You know, I mean, he still sounded, he would have sung great. And Flirting with Disaster was still going to be a hit, but, you know, it wasn't ideal. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, it wasn't quite the perfect fit. I will tell you this. The best frickin' fro in the history of the NBA or the ABA.
No question. And that he had that right arm that was like the guy from the Fantastic Four. It would stretch out to be like 12 feet long.
Yeah, he would dunk over like 4 people.
Incredible. Absolutely amazing.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zep, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
Happy Halloween. This is the KQ Morning Show. If you're just getting up, go back to bed. It's just nasty out there. Let's not kid ourselves. Oh, it's just rainy. It's not freezing, but it's chilly. I mean, there's a chill in the air.
Yeah.
And it's just wet. It's going to get better. It's going to dry up. It's going to get cloudy, and it's going to be, you know, typical Halloween. Kids are going to have wet feet.
Didn't they pass some sort of law in Minnesota that you get a mental health day? Aren't you required to give your employees a mental... Today would be a great mental health day to stay home and eat all that Halloween candy before you hand it out and watch scary movies, wouldn't it?
That would be fantastic. So the day after the Super Bowl and Halloween, national holidays. Let's just quit kidding ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot going on in the world, but before we share some of these stories, I do want to give a quick shout out to St. Louis Park. A lot of good people out there in St. Louis Park, or as I call it, Southwestopolis. Happy to have you with us this morning.
You son of a... I've lived in both Westopolis burbs, I guess, St. Louis Park and now Golden Valley. But, I love me some St. Louis Park. It's got it all, you know?
It does.
It's got the parks. It's because it's the St. Louis Park. But all the food, the restaurants, the good jazz. You can find it all in St. Louis Park.
You certainly can.
The SLP.
All sorts of trouble to get into.
Yeah.
I spend a little time out there in St. Louis Park myself. Go out, got to take care of some business, get my eyes fixed over at OVO, go to the Costco. A lot of things out there I go to. So it's a good place. Okay, so here's a number I want to ask you if you know what this is. A 20 followed by 33 zeros. 20, 000, 33, 10 sets of 3 zeros.
Yeah.
That is 20 decillion. Okay? Now, there's 20 million, there's 20 billion, there's 20 trillion, and then you go way, way, way past that. You end up with a number of 20 decillion.
Is that what the national debt's up to now?
No, not even close. The World Bank estimates the GDP for the entire global is $100 trillion.
All right.
This is far more. And the reason I'm asking you if you know if you can even get your head around what 20 decillion equals. A Russian court has ruled that Google owes $20 decillion in fines to Russian media stations for blocking their content.
Oh, man, our NFL Sunday package is going to go up, isn't it?
Man, it's going to be a fortune. It's like Google is honestly going to have to charge every person in America $1 billion for the NFL package.
What's more laughable than the combination of words Russian court?
Yeah, thank you very much. You blocked let's see, this is a 4-year case. YouTube banned a Russian media channel called Sargard. It's ultra crazy nationalist, bizarre, it's Putin on steroids.
Fun,
insanity
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And so they blocked it. They were like, we're and by the way, if Google blocks you, do you know how ridiculous you have to be for Google to take a moral stand? My God.
Yeah, I saw. There was a video the other day of a monkey pooping in another monkey's mouth. That one made it through.
Right.
That's
fine. Not a problem at all.
Yeah.
Not a problem at all. Wait till you see the follow-up where that monkey then goes out. He turns on the gas grill, pulls out a hot saucepan. You don't even want to know what happens. So then, after Putin invades Ukraine in 2022, Google added a few more channels to their banned list. That obviously a completely illegal invasion of the Ukraine. 17 stations all told, and they're suing Google, saying blah blah blah. All this comes back to. The court said, well, then you owe $1,025 per day in fines, the total fine doubling every week, and then compounding interest after 4 years. It sounds crazy, but yes, that's 20 followed by 33 zeros. Google got this information. They got the email and went, yeah, okay, good. Yeah, sounds great. Thanks, Putin. We'll get right on that.
Putin, he'd be adorable if he wasn't so dangerous.
Exactly. But that's he's going to have a hard time convincing anybody that Google needs to pay, especially when you are a dictator in a third world country, which, make no mistake, Russia outside of Moscow and St. Petersburg is third world. You're going to have a hard time getting anybody to cough up $20 decillion. Wow. In Moscow, the capital city right now, speaking of third world countries, there is what can only be described as a literal shit show happening. A plume of sewage has erupted in Moscow. And by the way, it is skyscraper high. There is video, and you see what looks to be about a 20-story building. And right next to it, a giant sewer pipe has burst, and it's shooting a geyser as tall as this building.
Oh, another poo-nado.
Just going. It is beyond a poo-nado, man. It's a poo-a-cane. It is incredible. And it's just blasting Russian sewage. Now, sewage is sewage, but Russian sewage, I bet, just has a special tang to it.
It's borscht.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. All that meat and heavy potatoes.
There's your band name, though. Plume of Sewage.
Sewage plume. Plumage. Plumage. All right, we'll figure it out. But the Russians are saying that this is part of a cyber attack from Ukraine. They attacked the sewage infrastructure last April, and they're saying this is probably the same kind of thing. There's a group called Blackjack, Ukrainian hackers. I love these guys already. They've destroyed a ton of servers and wiped all these terabytes of data. They are trying to flood Moscow with wastewater. And by the way, if you want to get the average Russian walking down the street to say, maybe we should get out of Ukraine, fill the streets with crap. That's going to go pretty far towards them going, maybe Putin doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah. Well,
and by the way, from this moment on, let's spell Putin P-O-O-T-I-N, shall we?
Sure.
There's no other way to spell it.
He's a little poo bear. He's a poo bear rolling in the poo of his people.
He hunts bears with spears shirtless. There's a whole calendar.
He certainly does. He's but yeah, that's a whole new type of poo bear now for Vlad Putin.
Yeah, let's all be a little afraid of cyber criminals can now create volcanoes of sewage. Maybe I will take that cyber training a little more seriously.
I tell you what, if you click on a phishing link and you flood KQ with poo, we're throwing hands, dude. Okay?
No, I just save it for the microphone on the air.
No more clicking links with gummies in your system, please, for the love of God.
Fair enough.
That is nothing would haunt us all more than waking up one day, coming to work, and having a river of poo flowing through the studio because of some weird fishing campaign.
My bad.
But you know what? That we would just be one of many haunted places, I guess, in the state if that were to happen. No shortage of haunted houses, haunted homes, haunted estates, haunted terrain all throughout Minnesota. Let's discuss some of the scariest places that this state has to offer. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Spooky activities for kids aren't for you. This year, visit the haunted house of adult fears. You'll encounter personal anxieties, delusions, jealousies, the pushing of emotional hot buttons. Don't blink. At any moment you could face thinning hair, adult acne, a younger colleague gets your promotion, walk in on an extramarital affair, a neighbor gets a really nice new car, reading glasses, corporate downsizing, you're dropped by your insurance carrier, your kid is getting her license, in-laws visiting for a week, a plummeting 401k, Cabernet that's gone rancid, the tranny goes out on the Beamer, experience weight gain before a high school reunion, bursitis that's flaring up, ED, the Michael Bublé concert is sold out, experience your worst nightmares, the haunted house of adult fears.
Open only during inconvenient hours in a crowded strip mall with expensive parking through Halloween. Don't miss it.
Neighbor gets a nice new car. That's the one.
Oh,
that's hell.
Sucks, doesn't it?
That's always the one.
Good for them.
Happy Halloween. This is the KQ Morning Show on a just a gorgeous morning. If you're just getting up, get out, open the shades, get out and enjoy the cold, rainy, wet, miserable morning for Halloween. It's going to be a fun day. It's Halloween. Who cares what the weather is? I mean, come on. We're not here to have an easy time getting candy and such. Let's get wet. Let's get sick. Let's have fun. Yeah. Why not? You know what? By the way, I mentioned before, a lot of places in Minnesota, they say are haunted. I'm going to just plead ignorance on this one. I had no idea. I've never heard this before. Apparently, First Avenue, a place I've been in many nights of my life and enjoyed, and I'll be there again in 2 weeks from tomorrow. I'm playing a gig there. I never knew First Avenue was haunted.
That's the word.
So it used to be, of course, the Greyhound Bus Center, opened in 1937. Are you guys aware of this? A woman went to the station to meet her boyfriend who was returning home from World War II. When she was informed he had, in fact, died in combat, apparently she ran into the restroom and hanged herself. Oh, and in recent years, First Avenue staffers report...
That's why it smells in there.
Yeah, they see a ghastly scene in the fifth stall of the women's bathroom, a full-bodied apparition, the throat wrenched to the side by a noose. The woman is always wearing a green army jacket. She is sometimes seen dancing at the club, along with other legless ghosts. Hang on, I've seen her. She's just a goth kid having fun. The green army jacket, and she's got the weird blacked-out eyes, and she's just dancing, and she looks legless because she's always drunk and on X.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's
it's dark
fine.
in there. Yeah, smoke machine's going. I can't tell if she has legs or not.
A lot of people actually report this, though. This is, I'm not making this up. I had no idea.
I bet they do.
Yeah, that's called designer drugs. Stay away.
Yeah, ecstasy, I think.
I didn't actually find out about this till maybe a couple years ago, and I have been in that women's bathroom, that fifth stall, and you know that you're in that one because it's always the one without toilet paper. I just walked in there during the Jack White show and had to do the weird thing where you yell out to somebody to, hey, give me some toilet paper.
I've got a square to spare.
I've been in that stall, too. Tell you about it some other time.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have.
That's why there's no paper there.
Rolling papers.
Oh, there was a haunting in that stall that night. How about this? How about the Schmidt Brewery in St. Paul?
Yeah.
Also news to me. Jacob Schmidt, a gentleman over
Jingleheimer to you.
Jacob, that's exactly right. Came over from Bavaria, the south of Germany, if you will. Before he opened the brewery, he was apparently detained by police for shooting some pigeon hunters. They were docked on the river. He's just a prankster, that Jacob Schmidt. He opened the brewery in the late 1890s. 1 year in, it burned to the ground. At the height of Prohibition, the son of the owners, Edward Bremer, was kidnapped by the Mob Barker gang and held for $200,000.
Yeah, that's right.
What?
Yeah.
And then over the years, plenty of brewery workers have died at the Schmidt Brewery. I never knew any of this.
Yeah, they just throw them right in the vat. Now it's what, artist lofts over there? Is that what it is?
Could be.
Yeah, I think there's some fancy condos too.
Yeah, is that the deal? All right.
I don't care how many employees die. You can't keep a fancy condo developer down. They're gonna go right in there and clean that place up, burn some sage, and in come the yuppies. Okay, a little bit concerning here. Again, thanks for the heads up, everybody. No one has ever told me that Father Hennepin Bluffs Park is haunted. Oh, you mean the thing that's right outside my door? Mm-hmm. The little strip of land that we call Fort Chauncey. That's our name for it. Because that's Chauncey's stomping grounds. Or the killing fields, if you prefer, because he takes care of a lot of business over there. Father Hennepin Bluff Park, situated right there on the Mississippi riverfront. Apparently, in the 50s and 60s, the Army Corps of Engineers came. They constructed 2 sets of locks at the lower end of the falls, and they destroyed the old Spirit Island. It was a burial ground that Native Americans used.
Whoa, you don't mess with that.
I'm living in the movie Poltergeist is about to happen any day. What the hell?
Yeah. What's her name? Mary Beth Williams?
Jo Beth Williams.
Jo Beth Williams. I'm ready for it to happen.
Well, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all news to me. I mean, thanks, guys. I've been here 2 years, and not one person said, "Oh, by the way, you live in a haunted neighborhood."
Well, they got rid of that Indian burial ground for you. What more do you want?
651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. If you know of any haunted spots, if you've actually seen an apparition somewhere, I would like to know. I would welcome the phone call or the text.
I know the Montgomery Golf Course, the Muni down there, the world's first music-themed championship, 18-hole golf course, Montgomery, Minnesota.
Yep.
In fact, it closes today, I understand. But that place, I heard, was haunted. There is someone buried out on the first hole.
Really?
Well, that's what I've heard, anyway.
Wow.
Buried in the first hole of the golf course. Spirit been seen, overalls and a hat, just sort of wandering the ground.
Yipe.
Yeah, there's that. This radio, where we're sitting right now, the KQ Studios, haunted. You know how many careers have died here? Mine is currently.
Oh my God.
Slow death.
At the moment, yeah.
Four Paws in St. Paul is notoriously haunted.
What?
And it just recently reopened again. It's a bar restaurant in an old mansion in St. Paul.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I read about that. Yeah. I missed. Yeah, Four Paws. I read the whole thing about it reopening and somehow didn't hear that it was haunted. I must have skipped over that part. It looks kind of haunted. The black. It looks. Yeah, that looks like a haunted house with a good steak. Okay. I mean, hey, ghosts got to eat too. The Fauché Tower. How about that? The tallest building in the Midwest once upon a time, considered one of the most haunted spots in the city.
Really?
Wilbur Fauché, crazy. I mean, the story of that guy is just fantastic. The rumor is he took his life by leaping from the tower. The fact that, of course, he did die in a nursing home, so he didn't jump off the tower, but people still insisted he did. But sightings of this gentleman are reported throughout the building. He's a very strange guy, and he had built a fortune and lost it all. The opening of that tower, if you read the whole story of all the money he made and all the money he squandered trying to build the most impressive building in all the Midwest, it would make sense that he's still wandering around trying to find a clue.
Yeah, I've been in that building many times. I used to have a sound studio at the very top, one of the very top floors up there. We'd do a bunch of voiceovers up there, but
oh, really?
Didn't see a ghost. Didn't see old Fauché standing up on the ledge up there.
Oh, man.
Good views, though.
Yeah, by the way, this is not a joke, but apparently City Hall in Minneapolis is also haunted. And not just from the horrific decisions made over the centuries. Paintings fall off the walls, doors open and close with no apparent user, lights flicker, ghastly presences are felt, and voices are often heard.
Yeah, I bet.
Go figure. There's a guy named John Moshik. He was convicted of theft and murder, and he was said to be the only person ever actually hanged in the building. He was hanged on the 5th floor, and people think he's still haunting City Hall.
I think it was botched. That's why he's still haunting it. And that's why they only did one, too.
How do you botch a hanging? Rope around the neck, kick the stool?
Somehow they screwed it up. It took them way too long to die. And then they were like, no, we can't do any more hangings because we just don't have this down.
Be like if I tied the knot over the rafter and it kept falling off. Oh, sorry, dude. We're going to try this again. Get him back up there kind of deal.
Yeah, something like that. So that's why he's still hanging around, because they screwed it up.
Rim shot for her there.
651-989 Rock, the KQ Talk and Text line. Tony, I believe we have a man with a ghost tale.
Jeremy wants to talk about apparitions.
Jeremy, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Jeremy, give me your favorite band.
Alice in Chains.
Right on. Give me your favorite team, any sport.
Minnesota Wild.
There you go. All right. What do you got for us, brother?
So I grew up in South St. Paul, Inver Grove Heights, and there was this house down in Inver Grove Heights called Hell House. And the rumor was that this young girl brutally murdered her family in this house. Mm-hmm. And you could go to the house and you could get locked in the trap door in the basement. I never went in. I was too scared for that. But on 3 separate occasions when we went there, we'd pull into the driveway, and the first 2 times, the street lights would flicker. You'd get in, you'd just pull into the driveway, the street lights would flicker. Another time we went there, we pull into the driveway, and our car stalled for no reason. We couldn't get it started. It took us like 10 minutes. We actually ended up backing up and pushing it out.
Yeah.
And then the third time we get in there, we took my car this time, and we went in, and my friend was sitting in the passenger, not drinking, no nothing. We were sober, and just started vomiting immediately.
Oh, flu season?
And this place was just notorious for getting in there and, like, people getting locked, like I said, getting locked in the cellar, and it was just crazy. And we never went back after the third time. We're like, that's it, we're done.
Yeah, you go 3 for 3. It's. I totally understand pulling the plug on that concept. I don't think I might have gone after 2.
I know. Well, we were brave. We were brave, but stupid.
Yeah, no, it's a heady mix, bravery and stupidity. They're constant bedfellows. Thanks for the call, Jeremy. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Love it. Love the show.
Jimmy, thank you, sir. Jimmy texted in, vacant Minnesota Air Force Base in Finland, Minnesota is freaky as F. Huh. Does anybody know about that? A vacant old Air Force Base in Finland, Minnesota?
Freaky Finland.
Never heard of Finland,
right
Minnesota.
on. The Palmer House Hotel in Sauk Center. Is that how you say that? Sauk?
Yep. Correct.
Yep.
Never been. Sorry, I admit. And then he writes, the Palmer House Hotel in Sauk Center, Phantom Prostitute Room 22.
Whoa. For a good
Pretty
time.
specific there, Bob. Wow.
Can I give them a phantom money for a phantom hand party?
I'm not really sure what that is. Yeah, no kidding.
Well, the Palmer House, that's a rather famous one. They've done television shows there, and it's been very commercialized. Should I say that? Yeah. You can go down there and spend a haunted night. You know, you have to pay a few extra bucks, and they'll round a ghost up for you.
Yeah. Nicollet Island Inn is haunted, but the owners don't want you to talk about it, so I believe that one's probably legit.
Well, great.
Really?
Welcome there.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I don't know the entire story, just that it's haunted.
Hang on, man. I got to get a new neighborhood. This is just turning sideways real fast. Greg writes in, Hibbing High School Auditorium supposed to have a ghost. A stagehand from days past.
Robert Zimmerman?
I was going to say, that. I mean, you say Hibbing High. Or Kevin McHale, one or the other. Yeah. Kevin McHale would be probably more likely. I mean, he's got that Fred Gwynn-esque vibe to him.
Right, big clumsy ghost.
Yeah, it's the clumsiest ghost of all. It's like, how many chairs is that guy going to run into? What the hell's going on up there? Good Lord. Hey, you can find the KQ Morning Show podcast anywhere you get podcasts, anytime you want. Sponsored by our good friends at Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. Oh, get on that.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on Minnesota's classic rock. 92 KQRS.
When you carve a pumpkin, Does it feel pain? How do we really know? Hi. At Caring Vines Orchard, we nurture every pumpkin as individuals, unique in their own way. We interview prospective adopters to make sure our little orange babies are going to a good home.
We have a renovated Tudor with a screened-in porch where they'll be on display, but protected from the elements.
Sounds lovely.
Thanks.
No knives will ever touch their tender shells. The precious pumpkins from our orchard are decorative, unlike others. Maimed victims exploited for a holiday created to scare and frighten.
I want a jack-o'-lantern.
We don't say that here. Sounds like jerk, and that's pejorative.
You're a jerk-o'-lantern.
Well, your costume is common and pedestrian.
What?
A princess. Really original. Hush. Welcome a Caring Vines Orchard pumpkin into your home. Our pumpkins come with a promise. We don't carve, we covet. Pleasant Halloween.
My God.
Place probably exists here in Minnesota, too. That's why you use the stickers, right? I remember my kids coming home one time with the stickers. I'm like, stickers, we got to go. You know what? Actually, let's just use the stickers. It's a lot easier. At some point.
Way easier.
Yeah, I know. The carving. And then there's always that jerk house next door, and they're doing artwork. You know, they've got the kit.
Oh, yeah.
With all the little saws and
the
things.
stencils.
Yeah, right, exactly. They light up their pumpkin that looks like, you know, I don't know, a haunted mural or something.
Oh, you're jealous.
We had a neighbor for years, and they would carve, like, you could see from across the street, it was like, oh, it's the Air Jordan logo. Like the Jordan flying man.
Yeah, right.
Or it would be like, oh, it's obviously Jerry Garcia in a pumpkin. Like, wow. Seriously, scalpel precision, surgical precision, carving. And I'm like, I'm trying to get 2 eyes and a mouth. That's all I'm trying to do here.
Yeah. The best thing we came up with, and it wasn't, I don't think it was ours, you can find it everywhere, was I really like to take the innards then and lay it out of the mouth so it looks like the pumpkin was barfing.
The vomiting pumpkin.
Yeah.
Always good.
That's a good
Always
one,
strong right there.
That one I could pull off.
Happy Halloween, everybody. This is the KQ Morning Show. Want to give a quick shout out to Hopkins, Minnesota.
Oh, the Raspberry Festival. I love Hopkins. And there are so many good breakfast places in Minnesota. Everyone's thinking of their favorite breakfast bar. I'm talking about the bar. Not going and sitting at a table or even one of the booths, but going to a breakfast bar. And I love hoagies in downtown Hopkins. Every time I go there, I was just there last week, and I sit by myself at the breakfast bar there. Someone interesting sits down next to me. So Byron, by the way, I had a nice chat with him last time. Yeah,
nice. I like that. I go to Hopkins.
Him his eggs.
Yeah, hoagies.
I get out to Hopkins. I get my back cracked out there. My chiropractor, old Brody, out there at the Hopkins Wellness. It's nice, man. Go in there, walk out feeling better, and then I forget all the stretches he tells me to do, and then I go back a week later and he goes, "Yeah, did you do those stretches?" And I go, "Of course I did." You know how that works.
Yep.
We were ready to give away some hockey tickets, and I was going to solicit some callers, but correct me if I'm wrong. We've already got people locked and loaded. Is that correct, Tony?
Yeah, they're ready to rock.
Man, Halloween brings the gumption. They got a little pep in their step. Let's do it. What are we going to play today?
We're going to play this fine venture.
The KQ Morning Show presents
Alexa Theater. It's time for me.
Yes, we all know that Alexa is multi-talented, and she puts her acting ability on display here. What we're going to do is we asked Alexa to perform her best delivery of lines for movies, and it being Halloween-y. Alexa reads the lines, and you tell us, is the line from these two Halloween favorites, The Silence of the Lambs, or Young Frankenstein?
Nice. Yeah. I like it. This sounds good. And by the way, we're giving away tickets to the winner today. Minnesota Wild, Winnipeg Jets, November the 25th. Check those standings. Winnipeg is 7-0-0 right now. That's a hockey club. They're playing some hockey. So November 25th, they're coming to town. We got tickets on the table. Who is contestant number 1, Anthony?
Number 1 is Meredith from Lino Lakes.
Meredith, good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Meredith, what's your favorite band?
Toss up U2, Pink Floyd.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I like that. Give me your favorite team, any sport.
Long-suffering Vikings fan.
Atta girl. Keep the faith. This is our year. Why do I even say it? Meredith, we're going to play a game, Alexa Theater. We got wild tickets on the table. Best of luck to you, dear.
Thank you.
All right, Meredith, your first cut, you tell us, is it from The Silence of the Lambs or Young Frankenstein?
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Silence of the Lambs.
Correct, you
Bang.
are.
I, of course, was picturing Marty Feldman delivering that line, wishing. Wouldn't that have been a great moment?
I really wanted to hear Alexa do the, you know, but no.
Didn't know how to spell that.
All right, fair enough.
Meredith, your next cut.
Put the candle back.
Young Frankenstein.
There you go.
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Poor Gene Wilder was getting crushed.
That's great.
Next up.
Oh, wait. Was she a great big fat person? Oh, wait. Was she a great big fat person?
That's Young Frankenstein.
Oh, sorry. That is from Silence of the...
Was she a great big fat person?
Yes.
Oh, man.
What was that?
It's all in the delivery.
I didn't hear it. Oh, God.
You're screwed now.
It's going to be okay. You're 2 for 3. You're doing great.
Doing great, yeah.
All right, Meredith, your next cut. We'll crank this up.
That brain you put in the jar. Abby someone. Abby who? Abby normal.
Young Frankenstein.
Yes,
There you
that's
go.
right. Abby normal.
Damn straight.
2 more for you, Meredith.
What knockers? What
Young
knockers?
Young Frankenstein.
That is correct.
Well, thank you, Doctor.
I thought for sure that was Hannibal Lecter talking to Jodie Foster.
Right.
No? All right.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because in the script, she says, look at these knockers, and he goes, what knockers?
Well.
All right, Meredith, your last cut.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner.
Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
Bam.
Oh,
All
such
right.
a great ending.
Really, really good. Dr. Lecter. Dr. Lecter. All right, Meredith, it looks like you went 5 for 6, which is very, very strong work. Well played.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great news. We're going to put you on hold for a second. We're going to move on to contestant number 2. Tony, who do we have?
Welcome, Kathy from Northfield.
Kathy, good morning.
Hello. Morning.
Kathy with a K, Kathy with a C.
Always with a K.
All right. You know, I prefer the Ks. All right, give me your favorite band, Kathy.
I'm going to say John Mellencamp.
Really? I
Favorite
like it.
band?
Were you with him when he was Cougar, or did you wait till he became Mellencamp?
Both ways.
There you go. I like that. All right, favorite team, any sport?
I'm going to have to say Wild.
Yeah, you are. All right, well, you got tickets to see the Wild and the Jets if you win this game on November 25th. Good luck, Kathy.
All right, thank you.
Let's go, Kath. Here's your first cut.
Hello. Would you like a roll in Z hay? It's fun. Roll, roll, roll in Z hay.
What are the rules? I don't know what the rules are. I didn't hear anything.
The movie, is it Young Frankenstein or The Silence of the Lambs? A line from which of those 2 movies?
Oh, can you play it again, please?
Sure.
Hello. Would you like a roll in Z hay? It's fun. Roll, roll, roll in Z hay.
Okay, and what were the 2 options again?
Silence of the Lambs or Young Frankenstein?
I'm going to say Young Frankenstein.
Atta girl.
Nice job.
I appreciate that discernment.
Yes. Wanted to make sure. Good job, Kath. Your second cut.
It rubs the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
Ooh, Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
Damn straight.
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Stop. Gross.
Which one is scarier? All right, your third cut, Kath.
Tell me, Senator, did you nurse? Did you breastfeed? Toughened your nipples, didn't it?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh my God. I'm gonna say Young Frankenstein.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's Silence
Dang.
of the Lambs.
Right.
Silence.
Silence.
I mean, if Marty Feldman had said it, it'd be hilarious.
It would be.
Yeah.
It certainly would be.
Your next cut.
For as long as I can remember, people have hated me. They looked at my face and body and they ran away in horror.
Young Frankenstein.
That a girl.
All right. Yes. Peter Boyle.
Peter Boyle.
2 more to go, Kath.
He would have an enormous Schwanstuker. Woof.
An enormous what?
He would have an enormous Schwanstuker. Woof.
Schwanstuker.
Oh, it's a Young Frankenstein?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's right, Kath.
That's what happens before the nipples harden.
She say stop. Kathy, here's your last cut.
Oh yeah, all right. Take it easy, baby. Make it last all night. She was an American girl.
Oh
my gosh. Young Frankenstein.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I meant the other one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I really meant the other one because I was
know.
thinking Tom Petty in that.
I know, but that's what came out. Sorry.
Man.
Oh, you really blew it.
Oh.
God, and Tony buzzed you twice. That's how cruel he was.
I didn't want to.
House of Halloween horrors around here. I could tell you misspoke, but you knew the answer. But Kathy, it's small consolation, but we greatly appreciate your efforts today. I'm sorry you came out with the wrong answer. You did correct yourself, but it was just too late. Meredith, you have won tickets to see the Jets November the 25th and the Wild, of course. Thank you, ladies, both for playing. Congratulations, Meredith.
Thank you.
You got it. Oh, that was a heartbreaker. You could tell she knew as soon as she said it, too.
She legitimately, I know.
And then Tony just couldn't stop buzzing her. It was like shock the Kathy is what he was playing over there.
Fast on that wrong buzzer, isn't it? When they're right, there's like a 3 beat.
Yeah,
you know, before you get the ding, when they're wrong, just he's right on them.
No, it's very satisfying. She put up a good fight.
Speaking of it is Halloween. The movie Halloween, the very first one, the classic, the John Carpenter classic, the working title, the original title for the movie, The Babysitter Murders.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly checks out, but I think ultimately Halloween was a better title. I mean, it certainly, I don't think The Babysitter Murders would have gone on to just, you may have had a sequel or 2, but you wouldn't have had 38 like we've had 38 Halloweens. Right. Just, it just doesn't do as much. You just can't build on that as much. The Blair Witch Project, one of the scarier films of the 90s, took 8 days to film. 8 days, that's it.
Yeah.
And it looks like it.
It felt like it took 8 days to watch.
Yeah, that's very true. But the very end was good. That last, where it all culminates, pretty chilling. The tension between the actors in the Blair Witch Project, partly fueled by the fact that directors were giving them less and less food each day in the woods. So they were actually starving out there by the time they were shooting the final scenes. And they all were not getting along, and they were all hangry, as they say.
The method approach.
That's what that is, the method approach. Very famously, not a horror film, but The Marathon Man, the scene where Dustin Hoffman's having teeth pulled out of his head by the very evil Laurence Olivier. Dustin Hoffman turned up to shoot that scene, and he had stayed up the whole night before because he wanted to be frazzled and bewildered and just like in sleep deprivation. And apparently the legend is Laurence Olivier heard that and looked at Dustin Hoffman and said, well, have you ever just tried acting?
I love that.
Right, he was such the best.
It's just...
Is it safe?
He actually chuckled when he heard the story. He was like, hell, is he? Method acting? All right.
Come on. The Exorcist. Here's a little of the fun fact about a horror film. The Exorcist, the vomit, Linda Blair vomits. It's actually pea soup, which is, for my money, almost worse than vomit. But
yeah, pea soup always... It seems like it was eaten once already, doesn't it?
Yeah, always. When she throws up all over the priest, Father Karras, there was a tube that was going to shoot the vomit out, and it was supposed to hit him in the chest, and it misfired, and all that vomit blasts him in the face.
Nice.
And that was actual genuine disgust. The actor was furious, but they had the cameras rolling, and they were like, oh, yeah, that looks better that way. Which, yeah, if I got pea soup in the face, I'd be pissed off, too. Especially if I wasn't expecting it. We got a ball game coming up here Sunday night. NBC has flexed the Minnesota Vikings into prime time. Monday night, the Colts come to town. Let's discuss. Sunday night, the Colts come to town. Let's discuss. We got Vikings insider Sam Ekstrom next. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Thursday, which means it's time to check in with Sam Ekstrom, host and executive producer with the Locked On Sports Minnesota Podcast Network, daily Vikings analysis on YouTube and your preferred podcast feed. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning to you and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, sir. Nice 10-day break for the Vikings since we last saw them in Los Angeles last Thursday night. How does the team feel, literally? Is everybody healed up that needs to be healed up, pretty much?
We're still waiting to see on Blake Cashman. The turf toe got him for the 2 games out of the bye, which they both lost, and I think the Vikings really need him back. He did not practice yesterday, turf toe, and the expectation was that he'd be back this week. And that is still up in the air. And that's a big one, I think, because they have not been able to stop the run, and he's the anchor of that run defense in many ways. So Blake Cashman still up in the air. I think the rest of the roster is probably good. TJ Hawkinson probably going to make his debut on Sunday.
Nice. That's great to hear. Cam Robinson, the big left tackle from Jacksonville, now coming in. Is he going to be ready to play on Sunday? I think he just got to town yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, that's a good question. When you played as many games as he has in his career, I think it's assumed that he's coming in to play right away, that on 3 days of prep, more or less, he'll be able to go. I don't know the ins and outs or the intricacies of the offensive line position well enough to tell you exactly what it entails to learn a playbook as a left tackle. I would assume that if you're not on the same page as your other linemen, like there could be some lapses in protection. So I don't know what it really affects, but I got to imagine they brought this guy in to play right away. And their backup left tackle, David Questenberry, also popped up on the injury report with a knee. He was limited in practice, so they might have no choice but to go with the new guy, Cam Robinson, who's had a great career, great pass blocker. And you talked about health with your first question. That's the big elephant in the room is your left tackle tore his ACL in the last game, and he's obviously out for the year, and it's been a week of trying to find a solution, and Cam Robinson, I think, is that solution.
Sam Ekstrom is with us on the KQ Morning Shows. Up.
Yeah, and also I was thinking Brandel. Didn't Brandel at guard play left tackle a couple of years ago? I don't know if you get Reisner back in there at guard and can kick Brandel out until Cam Robinson's ready to go. But we'll see what they do there on the line. That's a little tricky because the Colts secondary, not great, but they have been getting to the quarterback a little bit. And that's what you want to avoid there with Sam Darnold, who's an over 100 passer rating, but is susceptible to a little bit of pressure and hangs on to the ball a little bit. I want to talk about Flack is back. I would have loved to have seen him hang on to Richardson for one more week here, but because Joe Flacco brings some experience, you know what you're getting, a pocket passer like Goff and Stafford in the last, not up to their level right now, but how much of a problem is Flacco for this Vikings defense?
Yeah, this is one of those rare cases where I think universally somebody's more scared of the Flacco Colts than the Richardson Colts, because Flacco's going to understand how to read a blitz. He's going to know how to beat the blitz, and he's accurate as a passer. He's everything that Anthony Richardson is not. Anthony Richardson had one of the most inaccurate 6-game stretches in NFL history. The 6 games he's played this year. 44% completion rate. That's just not going to cut. That's high school level stuff. And I know he can run and he's super athletic, but it's just not going to happen in the NFL. Joe Flacco gives them a legitimate passing option. He'll be able to utilize the weapons they have so much better. He's going to throw, complete 65% of his balls, and he's going to know what he's looking at when Brian Flores dials up a blitz package. So this changes the game plan considerably. I think they can still get after Flacco because he's not as mobile as Richardson, but he's going to have the knowledge to eat those blitzes. So I think it became a tougher game. The Colts have been in every game. Right? The bad play of Richardson, they've 8 one-possession games this year, and they're 4-4. So I think that it turns this game into much more of a 50-50 proposition.
Yeah, I mean, do the Vikes have to win this game? I mean, to get out of this tailspin right now with a couple of losses. I know the Jags are coming up. The Titans are coming up. Those are both games on the road. And then the Bears, I think that, they head to Chicago. But you got to get out of this tailspin right now, don't you? On a home game?
Oh, you do. Yeah, it's turning into a must-win when you look at the NFC. And the NFC North in particular, everybody is good. Philadelphia has figured it out. Washington 6-2, Atlanta's 5-3. There's just a lot of teams that are competing with you now for this playoff seeding. The Vikings went from number 1 in the NFC. Now they've dropped to 6th, and they're only a game clear of 8th. Suddenly they're in the mix. They're in the thick of this playoff race. They don't have any cushion anymore. Detroit's starting to run away already. You got to win this game. You're absolutely right. And I think if you do, then there's optimism that you can get to 7-2, to 8-2, because that schedule does get easier. But this is probably the toughest one of the next 3 right here. You got to get it. And the defense has to get right. I think that's the unit that you're most concerned about after what they gave up against the Lions and Rams. And now if you can kind of find some mojo again coming out of this mini bye, maybe people will relax a little bit.
Sam Ekstrom's with us on the KQ Morning Show. Going back to the Lions and the Rams, that's 2 good football teams. The Rams, we caught them at the wrong time on a short week when they got healthy. They got their weapons back. That still doesn't make it feel any better. I'm sure that flight back must have been a rough one for the team. You mentioned Cashman being out. That's a huge part of the defense. But that can't explain everything about the way the defense looked for 5 weeks and then suddenly for 2 weeks just gave up everything. I mean, what else do you think was going wrong with that defense? What can Flores do to get everybody back on the same page?
Mm-hmm. I think teams got really assertive on first and second down because they didn't want to face the exotic looks that the Vikings unveil on third down. So, and the trickle down with Cashman helps you stop the run. When you stop the run, you get second and long, third and long situations. Teams were getting third and short situations or just converting on second down. When you look at the last 2 weeks, teams only had, I think, 10 third down opportunities in both of those games because they were converting so often earlier in the series. They were throwing it on second down like crazy, just trying to avoid the Vikings really getting a chance to pass rushers out there and get after the quarterback. Their rookie first-round pick has been kind of ripped to shreds the past couple weeks because he hasn't been on the field. And that's because there haven't been a lot of good situations to get a pass rushing specialist out there. So I think that there certainly is the old cliche, stop the run and good things will happen. If you stop the run, teams can't be as flexible in their play calling, as aggressive on second down or third down. But I think the secondary is going to have to make some adjustments too. They're playing a lot of zone. Teams are finding those zones and just settling in the soft spots and making easy catches. Might have to play a little bit more man defense and stop some of these underneath passes that have been killing the Vikings the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Sam, we know who Joe Flacco is. What is the Colts receiver core? How strong are they?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of their young guy, Josh Downs. He's kind of an explosive threat who might not catch in volume, but he's gonna be there all game. He's got really good speed. I like Downs a lot. Michael Pittman is probably their number one option. Alec Pierce is another deep threat. Again, different routes, different play calls with Joe Flacco. With Anthony Richardson, it was like kind of have Richardson scramble around and check the ball deep. He threw it further per play than any quarterback in the NFL. I think Flacco, it's a different ballgame. I don't think you're worried as much about the deep threat. You're worried more about the methodical picking apart, the shorter throws, the crossing routes, the intermediate stuff. But it's a decent receiving core. There's not a Justin Jefferson over there, but they've got enough pass catchers to stress you, certainly.
Got it. Sam, is the plan to spot the Colts 33 points again, or was that just a one-off?
It worked pretty well last time. Why not go back to the well? And I will never forget that game. Jeff Saturday coaching for the Colts. Matt Ryan was the quarterback. Just a weird football team. And I was at that game in the press box. Never will forget it as long as I live. Still can't believe it happened.
Sam, is the team like the idea of getting flexed to Sunday night? Do they care either way?
I don't think they care too much. I mean, I think they'll tell you that they're excited to perform in prime time. The crowd is always a little better in prime time. The production value is great at US Bank Stadium. It just feels like the Vikings have had to do a lot of sitting around sometimes. Like you sit around on a Thursday, you wait to play, and then they've had a couple of these on Sundays where you sit around and you wait. And they had a London game. It's been a little bit of an erratic schedule. These are creatures of habit, creatures of routine, and this probably throws you off your routine a little bit.
Sure.
But I think after this, they'll have a good stretch of noon games where they can kind of get back in that rhythm. But the nighttime atmosphere at US Bank Stadium is unmatched because they do such a good job in that stadium.
Yeah, that's very true. Okay, Sam, first things first. Your greatest ever Halloween costume, what was it?
A couple of years ago, my wife and I, we recreated the Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears photo where they were all there. He was wearing a Canadian tuxedo, like jean on jean. And Britney Spears had a jean dress. We duplicated the jean look a couple of years back. That was a pretty good one.
All right, and then finally, the kids come in, they dump all their candy. You're going to take one piece of candy from whatever you see. What's the go-to? What's the one thing you always go for first?
Probably like $100 grand. I do enjoy the $100 grand bar.
Wow.
Anything Reese's, and probably the guilty pleasure would be an Almond Joy. A lot of people toss those. If you're tossing your Almond Joys, give them to me. I'm a big fan.
I'm with you there, man. I am team Almond Joy all day long. Haven't thought of $100 grand in a while. That's a good one. That's the old throwback. Okay, Sam, it's game time. What do we think? What are we gonna see Sunday night? Give us the pick.
Man, I've been starting to lose on my Vikings picks, but I'm gonna go Vikings one more time. I think 23-19. I think it's going to be another tight one against these Colts. But, the Vikings will get after Joe Flacco enough to win here, get back on track.
Yeah, let's hope that's the case. I know when the schedule came out and you see AFC South, everyone's like, yes, that's 3 wins, 4 wins right there at least 3. Let's hope we get the first. This is a crucial one. Sam, it's always a pleasure, brother. We'll talk to you next week.
Good.
See ya. Colts, Jaguars, and Titans. I mean, if we can't get those 3 wins, then there may be some more significant issues than we're aware of. This is got to get all 3 of those in a row.
The Vikings.
I mean, this is it. These are the seasons. I can't tell you how many Viking seasons fired out of the gates, 4 or 5-0. The Tice teams used to always do that. The Mike Tice teams, they're at the end of the Moss era, used to always come out 4, 5, 6 wins in a row, and then just crap themselves in the middle of the season. And this team has too much talent, I think, to do that, especially against the AFC North. But it starts Sunday night. Get that one and you're on your way.
I can tell you this, as a guy who lived in Nashville for years and watched the Jacksonville Jaguars twice a year, Cam Robinson he's good. That's a solid replacement to come in and take over for left tackle. He has been in the league, 7-8 years. He started all 91 games he's ever played. He's a beast. He's going to be a good, when he gets into that system, that is a fine pickup for the Vikings.
That's good to know, because that was a sigh of relief, I think, for a lot of Vikings fans when we saw that. And like you said, they had some options to shuffle that line, but not an option that would, no one's going to replace Darisaw, one of the very best in his position, that left tackle this season for sure. But they certainly went out and got what they could. I don't think they could have done better with what was available to them. So, keep plugging the holes and shoring up that offensive line. I think they go over 30. I think this is a bigger win against this Colt team, even with Flacco in there making some better decisions. I think anytime you have a blitzing defense, you're gambling. There's a reason you don't want to blitz a lot, and that's because you've got the personnel. You don't have to, and you can, play better in the play more people in the secondary and take up more spots, play more zone. But you're gambling. But I think the gamble pays off and they win by more than 10.
You know, what you said to Sam's up, I was with you. I was so glad to see Anthony Richardson coming in here. I was like, oh, they're going to destroy that kid. But now Flacco's actually gonna put us on our back heel at least a couple times throughout the night.
Yeah.
I played a round of golf in the 90s. With two elderly gentlemen. They were brothers. They were both retired. They went out and golfed every morning, like 7 a.m. tee time. I got paired up with them. They were originally from Brooklyn. They still had the accents. They were funny guys. They talk like this. And we hit it off great. And then, during the course of the round, what do you guys do? What do I do? And I'm in a band. I'm in this band, blah, blah, blah. A week later, I'm on the same course. And I look over, and a fairway away are these two guys. And then they look up and they see me and they yell like they're just old enough. They don't care. They go, "Hey, Stevie, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Hey, what's up, fellas?" And they look at they're playing with two other gentlemen and they go, "Hey, that's our buddy. He's in the Eagles."
No.
And I was like, it's a bird. It's not the Eagles.
Just wait.
And the two guys they were golfing with, much younger, are like, "Oh my God." They were very excited to hear that one of the Eagles was on the next hole. I didn't correct it. I was like, "Yeah, I'll be in the Eagles today. That's pretty good."
You have that Joe Walsh hair.
Well, that's what it was. I think that's exactly what it was. Hey, that's our buddy. He's in the Eagles. That's close. I wish I were in the Eagles because if I were, I'd be playing more shows at the Sphere in Las Vegas in 2025. The Eagles have, added more. And we want to send you to see them at the Sphere. You could score a trip for two with flights, of course, a 2-night stay at the Venetian Resort Las Vegas, and tickets to the concert, plus a VIP experience package. Text the national keyword FROM, F-R-O-M, to 95819 for a chance to win. How about the top 5 at 9 coming up? Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
Spooky activities for kids aren't for you. This year, visit the haunted house of adult fears. You'll encounter personal anxieties, delusions, jealousies, the pushing of emotional hot buttons. Don't blink. At any moment you could face thinning hair, adult acne, a younger colleague gets your promotion, walk in on an extramarital affair, a neighbor gets a really nice new car, reading glasses, corporate downsizing, you're dropped by your insurance carrier, your kid is getting her license, in-laws visiting for a week, a plummeting 401k, Cabernet that's gone rancid, the tranny goes out on the Beamer, experience weight gain before a high school reunion, bursitis that's flaring up, ED, the Michael Bublé concert is sold out, experience your worst nightmares, the haunted house of adult fears.
Open only during inconvenient hours in a crowded strip mall with expensive parking through Halloween. Don't miss it.
What was that? The Cabernet had gone?
Cabernet has gone rancid.
Rancid.
Nothing
Can't even
worse.
say it.
All right.
That's a band name, Rancid Cab. Got it. Boom.
Good night.
We've all been in a rancid cab once or twice.
We have.
In fact,
Don't grow up. It's a trap. I believe that's what the neon sign says. It's Halloween. Good morning, October the 31st. Are we still just what a day. We wake up, it's cold, it's rainy, the kids are getting excited, we're going to be handing out candy, and then it's cold and it's rainy. And but it's clearing up now. The rain's going to stop, anytime. By the time the snow gets here, the rain will stop. That's good news.
Awesome. There are nervous kids out there right now thinking, are mom and dad going to puss out on me? They're, I don't know, kids. There are going to be some parents that do. You know what? We'll stay in. We'll order a pizza. No, you're not. You got to get out there. You got to get wet. You got to get cold. Layers.
Yes. You know what that meant? You know what that meant when I was a kid? That meant get some bread bags under those socks.
Yep.
The old Wonder Bread bag on each foot. Come on, man. You stay out there for hours.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
What a good look that is.
It's great. Who cares?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, whatever it takes. All right, it's Halloween. Let's get into the top 5 at 9 for everybody who's just joining us. These are the stories we feel you need to know. It is Halloween, and a lot of kids are going to be walking out of the house. The cool kids will be carrying a pillowcase, not a plastic pumpkin, not a paper bag from Whole Foods trying to save the environment. No, you bring your damn pillowcase out there, and you fill that bad boy up with candy. And if you do fill up a pillowcase, a standard pillowcase, It's going to take you about 1,690 pieces of candy. It will weigh 48 pounds. So when someone says I filled my pillowcase, they're lying.
I wonder what the average kid gets out on a trick or treat.
They say it's about 90 to 100 pieces of candy is your I don't know how they determine this, but they say about 90 to 100 pieces is the average.
All right, so I'm not good with math. I'm wondering how many other kids you'd have to mug, younger kids you'd have to mug to fill up your
You gotta take down like 15, 16, 17 kids. Yeah,
it's easy.
But it's more with a fun size too. They're so teeny.
Yeah, and the fun size are getting smaller. They're getting less fun, more fun, I guess. I don't know.
Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be great just if you had the time, the money, and nothing else better to do? Wouldn't it be awesome to set up a great Halloween at your house? You put the lights up, you carve the jack-o'-lanterns, you have a cemetery in your front yard. You just make it like the most inviting house in the neighborhood, and every single kid that comes up, you hand them a bread bowl of soup. Like just by hundreds of bread bowls with like broccoli and cheddar. You know, it's like, here you go, happy Halloween. You guys look great.
Yeah, and then
it's just piping hot.
Right. All over the side of your house the next day.
Your car everywhere.
Hundreds of bread bowls, your car, yeah. You're trying to get broccoli out from underneath the windshield wipers.
Man, here you go, kids. Are you the Fantastic Four? Oh, my God, you look great. Here's some spaghetti bolognese. Eat up.
We had of course, they gave out good candy, but you think about those houses that do the big setup. I always envied those, but we had one of those in the neighborhood in Prior Lake when the girls were growing up. And I would go over and help out. One of my favorite ones, maybe you guys have heard of this one, is you put a couch in the driveway and you cut a couple of holes in the bottom of the couch. You put the cushions back on, and then when the kids come over and you have it, cobwebs on the couch and everything, you say, okay, kids, have a seat. We're going to take a Halloween picture of you in your costumes. And then you reach up through the couch and grab them and get that picture.
Wow.
That's a good one. That's a good picture right there.
That's strong right there. I mean, you'd get sued now, but back in the day, that must have been great.
Right.
Number 4 on your top 5 at 9. Great news from New York City, and a lot of people, you might not have plans now, but at least once in life, it's New York City. It's the city of the United States of America. Historically speaking, culturally speaking, everybody got to get there at least once. And if you do go now, great news. They have legalized, wait for it, not weed, jaywalking.
Wonderful.
You can now cross the street whenever you damn well feel like they're New York City, which is news to New Yorkers because that's what they've been doing forever. We've got a few man-on-the-street New Yorkers weighing in on this new law.
Who cares?
Who cares?
So what else is new? I jaywalked my whole life here. I lived here for 60 years and I jaywalked. Gotta be alert. You're in New York. Look alive.
You get a chance, you go. Take it.
Is it safe?
If it's safe, you go. Watch both ways because now we got these guys.
When was the last time you heard somebody say that, I'm happy they caught that jaywalker?
The video game Frogger was designed by a first-time tourist in New York City. Fun fact, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You just take your chances. Run when you see the opening, and Godspeed.
Yeah, you don't see as much jaywalking here. I've been to New York. We talked about Boston. Jaywalking is very prevalent there. We hit a jaywalker one time, and the person we hit, I wasn't driving, my buddy was driving, and then yelled at the jaywalker for getting hit by his car. But you don't get as much of that in Minneapolis. What we get here is people that walk agonizingly slow through the crosswalks, especially here on the campus.
Yeah, right, sure.
I'm driving home. I'm going to head back to Golden Valley. I just like to cut through the city, especially at four-way stops. It's how slow. What do you have, shin splints? Let's go. Cha-cha.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
That's good stuff. Number 3 on your top 5 at 9. A gentleman in North Carolina named Jerry Hicks. Who you calling a hick? Jerry Hicks was standing outside of a Speedway gas station, and he looked down on the floor, and by God, there was a $20 bill.
Score.
And he thought, I should pick that up and go buy myself a lottery ticket. And that's what he did. But he didn't just buy any lottery ticket. He bought a $25 extreme cash scratch-off ticket. So he took $5 of his own money, $20 of found money, and he hit $1 million lottery win. He took the lump sum payment of $600,000. After taxes, he took home $429,000. He was asked, what do you plan to do with your winnings? And he said, this is a quote, we're going to go head straight to Golden Corral and eat everything they've got.
Oh, God.
Damn, man. I mean, you could step up for one meal, Jer. You could go somewhere with actual beef from a cow as opposed to whatever they got at the Golden Corral.
With that kind of money, you could tip somebody, maybe get in early, get the fresh stuff before everyone else sneezes on it. I don't know.
It reminds me of a time on tour long years ago playing a club in West Virginia, and it was, I don't even remember the name of the town, but there was nothing. It was one of those gigs where we're like, how did we end up here? And we had a sound check, and then I was talking with one of the guys in the band, and I made the silly joke. I said, man, I wonder if we can find a good Thai restaurant around here. Because the last thing you would ever expect to find in this particular slice of Appalachia would be a Thai restaurant. And the club owner looked at me and goes, well, just go to the Sizzler. You can wear whatever you want.
Oh, yeah, if you want to be fancy.
God, he could be a morning radio.
Oh.
And I laughed because I was like, that's actually pretty funny. Oh, my God, he's serious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can just wear whatever you want at the Sizzler.
Well, if he knew what you're really talking about, he probably would have, I don't know, tried to string you up.
Why don't you go ahead and pack up and get on out of here before I have to go slap you upside the head, son. Number 2 on your top 5 at 9, animals are drunk. That's right, the animal kingdom, not just humans. The animal kingdom loves to get on the alcohol. Ethanol, which is the kind of alcohol that forms from fruit and grain sugars, is present in all environments and way more often than we probably would have initially thought. Animals take advantage of that fact. Many, many, many members of the animal kingdom are regularly boozing it up with natural found alcohol.
God, I knew we had something in common.
Hell yeah. There's only problematic if they have too many of these like rotten fruits and they get too much ethanol. Of course, they become a little slower, a little clumsier, and then prey has an easier time. Predator has a little bit easier time with their new drunk prey. But otherwise, I mean, the main thing I take away from this whole study is that let's not judge each other so much. I mean, if the monkeys are doing it and the birds are doing it and basically every member of the mammal, the badgers are doing it, for God's sakes. Let's just be a little easier on ourselves, okay?
All right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we get drunk to act like animals, but yeah, you know what? I was just thinking deer might be a bit easier to hunt if they're drunk. Maybe I'd leave some beer out for the deer and not save it all for myself.
Maybe the deer are always drunk. Maybe they're always eating those rotten fruit because that might explain why they wander out into traffic like that.
That would explain a lot, wouldn't it?
Drunk deer. Number 1 on your top 5 at 9 has to wait because I need to give a quick shout out to our friends in Eden Prairie. EP in the house.
Yeah, Eden Prairie. I love me some Eden Prairie. The shopping center.
Come on.
Black Friday.
Yeah. Get out there.
No, that's what I remember busting Taylor, who was sleeping at a friend's. But yeah, it turns out her friend's mom called me to see how everything was going because her daughter was sleeping at my place. But she wasn't sleeping at my place. They lied to both of us. They were out at Black Friday at the Eden Prairie Shopping Center, where I nabbed them at 10:30 at night out in front of the movie theater. You little scoundrels.
Troublemakers.
Yeah.
Troublemakers. Number 1 in your top 5 at 9, there is a new World Series champion, the Los Angeles Dodgers, who, oh my God, I mean, there's few things in life I like more that don't involve any of my favorite teams than when the Yankees lose. So for at least a day, we're all Dodgers fans. Thank you for beating the New York Yankees. And they did it in spectacular fashion. Not only did the Yankees drop the World Series in 5 games, but they had a 5-run lead at home in the Bronx in Game 5 and gave it up.
Beautiful.
A series of errors let the Dodgers back into the game. The Dodgers had, I think they had 7 or 8 different pitchers in this game.
Yeah.
They just... They just threw a different guy up every inning. They're like, yeah, whatever. If we lose, we'll go back to L.A. and we'll kill them there. And it was like, nah, let the Yankees implode with defensive errors. Two outs in the fifth inning. The score is 5-0 New York with 2 outs.
Yeah.
And then it was 5-5 in a matter of about 3 minutes. It was glorious. My Yankee hating heart was soaring like a hawk.
Ralph, it just really kind of takes the piss out of them for a little bit, doesn't it? For a day anyway there in
It's
New
the
York.
best. It's the absolute best.
And the Dodgers get their last win was during the COVID year, 2020. So Dodgers manager Dave Roberts here talking about getting the real celebration this time.
Who wants a parade? Oh my, world champion!
Probably going to be sunny and 75 for that parade out there.
Gotta like that. Right on. Happy, happy, happy Yankees suck, everybody.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.